You've always known something was wrong with you. Not broken, just fundamentally different from everyone around you. While others seemed content with small talk, you were drowning in existential questions. While they chased status and material success, you were searching for meaning that seemed to elude them completely. While they found comfort in certainty and belonging, you were haunted by doubts and isolation. You felt it your entire life, haven't you? That unbearable distance between you and almost everyone else. The way conversations that energize others drain you completely. How goals that motivate them seem hollow and arbitrary to you. The exhausting performance of pretending you care about things that feel cosmically insignificant. The loneliness of being surrounded by people who will never understand how your mind works. Here's what the great philosophers throughout history discovered. The people who think deeply are evolutionarily different from those who think conventionally. You're not failing at being normal. You're succeeding at being something else entirely. Your inability to fit in isn't a weakness to overcome, but a strength to cultivate. Today, I'm revealing the 7 philosophical truths that explain why you've always been different, why that difference has caused you suffering, and most importantly, why your depth of thought is precisely what makes you capable of extraordinary understanding, creativity, and impact that shallow thinkers can never achieve. But here's what will finally make sense of your entire existence. You're not alone in being alone. Throughout history, every philosopher, revolutionary thinker, and genuine innovator experienced the same isolation and alienation you're experiencing right now. The very qualities that make you feel broken in conventional society are the ones that make you capable of transcending it. By the end of this video, you'll understand that your difference isn't a curse, but your most valuable asset. If you've spent your life feeling like an alien observing human society from the outside, hit that subscribe button right now, because what I'm about to reveal will transform your deepest insecurity into your greatest source of power. If you've recognized yourself in this description, if you've always felt different and struggled to understand why, then these 7 truths are your roadmap to transforming your greatest insecurity into your greatest strength. Start with Truth 1. Depth recognition. Stop trying to force yourself to care about surface-level pursuits and start honoring the depth that makes shallow engagement impossible for you. If this video has made you feel seen and understood for the first time, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This channel exists specifically for people like you, deep thinkers who need philosophy, not entertainment. In the comments, share what it feels like to be a deep thinker in a shallow world. Your words could provide comfort to someone who feels completely alone in their difference. Share this with someone you recognize as a fellow deep thinker. They may be suffering in isolation, without realizing there are others who think like them. Remember, you're not broken, weird, or failing at being human. You're succeeding at being something most people never become, someone who thinks deeply about existence itself. Your transformation from seeing difference as weakness to recognizing it as strength starts right now. If you're watching this, you're already different. That difference is your power. The version of yourself that fully embraces philosophical depth has been waiting for permission to emerge. This is your invitation to finally stop hiding and start becoming who you actually are. Subscribe for philosophy, designed specifically for people who think deeply. This is your intellectual home. Welcome to the tribe of those who cannot accept shallow answers to profound questions. Your future integrated self will thank you. The 4th truth involves understanding that while shallow thinkers can survive and even thrive through conformity and social performance, attempting the same strategy will psychologically destroy you. What works for others doesn't work for you because you're operating with a fundamentally different psychological architecture that requires authenticity for basic functioning. Authenticity operates as existential requirement for deep thinkers. Performance costs. The cognitive and emotional cost of performing conventional social roles is dramatically higher for you than for others, because every moment requires conscious effort rather than automatic behavior. Internal contradiction. Living inauthentically creates severe internal contradiction in philosophical minds because you're simultaneously aware of the performance, the reality underneath, and the gap between them. Meaning, collapse. When you invest energy in pursuits you recognize as meaningless, your entire sense of meaning and purpose collapses, rather than simply being distributed across conventional activities. Identity fragmentation. Maintaining multiple performed identities for different social contexts creates identity fragmentation that's more severe for you because you're aware of the fragmentation while performing it. Depression. Susceptibility. Deep thinkers who attempt to live conventionally experience higher rates of depression because they're consciously choosing meaninglessness while being aware of alternatives. Creative suppression. Conformity suppresses the unconventional thinking that is your primary cognitive strength, making you less capable while pretending to be more normal. Energy depletion. The constant effort of translation between your authentic thoughts and socially acceptable communication depletes your energy far more than authentic expression would. When you understand that authenticity isn't optional but existentially necessary for your psychological survival, you stop trying to fit in and start building a life that accommodates your actual nature. The first truth involves understanding that once your mind learns to operate at philosophical depth, you become constitutionally incapable of finding satisfaction in the surface-level pursuits that occupy most people's lives. You can't choose to care about trivial things any more than someone can choose to find deep meaning in activities they understand to be fundamentally meaningless. Your depth is not a preference, but a permanent alteration in how your consciousness processes reality. Here's why depth makes conventional life impossible. Meaning requirement. Your mind automatically seeks deeper meaning and significance in activities, making it impossible to invest energy in pursuits you recognize as arbitrary social constructions. Pattern recognition. Curse, you can't help but see the patterns, contradictions, and absurdities in social conventions that others accept without question, making genuine participation feel like elaborate performance. Authenticity. Compulsion. Once you've experienced authentic connection and genuine conversation, small talk and superficial relationships become psychologically intolerable rather than just boring. System awareness. You see the systems, incentives, and control mechanisms behind social structures that others experience as natural or inevitable, creating alienation from conventional participation. Question. Proliferation. Every answer generates new questions for you, making closure and certainty impossible, while others find comfort in simple explanations and established beliefs. Value examination. You automatically examine the actual value and purpose of activities rather than accepting their cultural importance, making it difficult to engage with things others find naturally motivating. Boredom. Threshold. Your threshold for intellectual boredom is dramatically lower than most people's, making you unable to tolerate activities and conversations that others find perfectly engaging. When you understand that your inability to care about conventional pursuits is a feature of depth rather than a personal failure, you stop trying to force yourself into spaces where you'll never belong. The second truth involves recognizing that a certain degree of loneliness and isolation is not just common among deep thinkers, but absolutely inevitable, given the statistical rarity of philosophical consciousness. You're searching for connection with minds that operate similarly to yours, in a population where such minds represent perhaps 1 to 5% of people. The mathematics alone guarantee substantial isolation. Loneliness operates differently for philosophical minds. Statistical scarcity. People capable of engaging at your depth of thought are statistically rare, making meaningful connection a numbers game where you must encounter many people to find even one genuine intellectual companion. Communication barrier. You literally speak a different language, using words the same way others do, but meaning completely different things by them, creating communication failures that feel like you're from different species. Interest misalignment. Topics that fascinate you bore most people, while subjects that energize them feel intellectually empty to you, making shared enthusiasm rare and precious when found. Vulnerability. Asymmetry. You reveal your authentic thoughts and are met with confusion or discomfort, while others share what you recognize as socially conditioned opinions rather than genuine inner experience. Processing speed. Difference. Your mind processes implications, consequences, and connections faster than most people speak, creating a temporal gap where you're always waiting for others to reach conclusions you saw immediately. Depth. Mismatch. When you attempt to explore ideas deeply, most people lose interest or become uncomfortable at levels of analysis that feel like you're just getting started. Misunderstanding. Frequency. Others consistently misunderstand your intentions, motivations, and meaning because they project conventional thinking patterns onto someone operating from completely different premises. When you accept that substantial loneliness is inherent to thinking deeply in a world of shallow thinkers, you stop blaming yourself for failing to connect and start seeking the rare individuals capable of meeting you at your depth. The third truth involves recognizing that your deep thinking isn't just different, but actually superior for certain crucial tasks that shape human understanding and progress. Society has taught you that your difference is a disability, but in reality, you possess cognitive capabilities that most people will never develop. Deep thinkers possess specific advantages. Systemic understanding. You naturally see systems, connections, and relationships that others miss, making you capable of understanding complexity that overwhelms conventional thinkers. Pattern recognition. Your mind automatically identifies patterns across domains, time periods, and contexts, giving you predictive capabilities others lack. Abstraction. Capacity. You can think abstractly and philosophically about concrete situations, extracting principles and insights that have broad application beyond specific instances. Contradiction. Detection. You immediately notice contradictions, inconsistencies, and logical failures that others accept without question, making you resistant to propaganda and manipulation. Causal analysis. You trace causal chains backward and forward more effectively than most people, understanding both origins and likely consequences of situations and choices. Conceptual innovation. Your ability to combine ideas from different domains creates novel insights and innovations that conventional thinkers cannot generate. Existential courage. Your willingness to confront difficult truths about existence, meaning, and mortality makes you capable of wisdom that others avoid through denial and distraction. When you recognize your cognitive advantages, you stop seeing your difference as a curse and start developing it as your primary source of value and contribution. The fifth truth involves recognizing that your difference isn't random but potentially purposeful. You may be uniquely suited to make contributions that conventional thinkers cannot make. Throughout history, philosophical minds have driven human progress precisely because their inability to accept conventional wisdom made them question, innovate, and revolutionize understanding. Purpose emerges from depth through specific pathways. Problem-solving capacity. Your ability to see what others miss makes you uniquely capable of solving complex problems that defeat conventional approaches. Truth. Articulation. You can articulate truths about existence and experience that others feel but cannot express, providing language and frameworks that enhance collective understanding. System transformation. Your outsider perspective allows you to envision system-level changes that insiders cannot imagine because they're too embedded in existing structures. Cultural evolution. Deep thinkers drive cultural and intellectual evolution by questioning assumptions and proposing alternatives that eventually become new, conventional wisdom. Meaning creation. Your exploration of meaning and purpose can create philosophical frameworks that help others navigate existential challenges. Creative innovation. Your unconventional thinking generates creative innovations in art, science, technology, and philosophy that conventional minds cannot produce. Wisdom development. Your willingness to think deeply about difficult questions develops wisdom that can guide both your own life and influence others who seek understanding. When you recognize that your difference might be purposeful rather than accidental, you can begin developing your unique capabilities rather than trying to eliminate them. The sixth truth involves understanding that while you'll never fit into conventional social structures, you can build or find communities of fellow deep thinkers where your difference becomes the foundation for belonging. You're not meant to connect with everyone, You're meant to find the rare individuals who speak your language and build deep, meaningful relationships with them. Tribe building operates through selective connection, quality over quantity. Accept that you need fewer relationships than most people, but require much higher quality in the connections you do maintain. Signal. Transmission. Learn to signal your depth subtly so that fellow deep thinkers can recognize you while conventional thinkers remain uninterested. Filtering systems. Develop efficient systems for filtering potential connections based on intellectual compatibility before investing significant emotional energy. Depth testing. Create early tests in conversations that reveal whether people can engage at your level before fully opening up. Geographic independence. Use technology to transcend geographic limitations in finding intellectual companions who may be rare in your physical location. Community creation. Build communities around shared philosophical interests rather than just geography or conventional social categories. Relationship investment. Invest deeply in the rare connections that meet your authentic needs, rather than spreading yourself thin across many shallow relationships. When you stop trying to connect with everyone and start selectively building your tribe of deep thinkers, you transform loneliness into chosen solitude punctuated by profound connection. The seventh and most practical truth involves learning to navigate conventional society effectively while maintaining your authentic depth and philosophical nature. You can't change society to accommodate you, but you can develop sophisticated strategies for functioning in it without sacrificing your essential self. Integration mastery operates through strategic adaptation. Code switching skills. Develop the ability to communicate in conventional language when necessary, while maintaining your depth of thought underneath the translation. Strategic authenticity. Choose when and with whom to reveal your authentic depth, protecting yourself from misunderstanding while remaining true to your nature. With safe individuals. Practical competence. Develop practical skills and professional competence that provide financial independence and social legitimacy without requiring you to sacrifice your philosophical nature. Protective solitude. Schedule regular periods of complete solitude for deep thinking and authentic self-expression that recharge you from conventional social performance. Selective engagement. Choose which aspects of conventional society to engage with based on what serves your authentic goals rather than trying to participate in everything. Meaning integration. Find ways to integrate your deep thinking with practical action and contribution rather than just living in abstract contemplation. Compassionate detachment. Develop compassion for conventional thinkers while maintaining detachment from their judgments and expectations of you. When you master integration, you become capable of functioning effectively in conventional society while maintaining your authentic depth and philosophical nature. Centroar. The integration, embracing your difference as strength. These 7 truths work together to transform your experience of being different from a source of shame and suffering into a foundation for meaning, purpose, and extraordinary capability. The transformation happens in predictable stages. First, you'll experience relief as you realize your difference isn't a personal failure, but a natural consequence of thinking deeply. Second, you'll stop trying to force yourself to care about conventional pursuits and start honoring your authentic interests and questions. Third, you'll begin finding or building your tribe of fellow deep thinkers, discovering that profound connection is possible even if rare. Finally, you'll achieve integration, functioning effectively in conventional society, while maintaining your philosophical depth and using your difference to create value and meaning. But here's the most important insight. You are exactly what the world needs, even if it doesn't know how to appreciate you. Every philosophical breakthrough, every revolutionary idea, every cultural evolution has come from people like you, people who couldn't accept conventional wisdom and had to think more deeply. Your difference is not a curse, but a calling. The very qualities that make you feel alienated are the ones that make you capable of understanding and contributing what shallow thinkers cannot.